Hey guys, I'm Emily,
I'm Lexi.
and this is a video on how to pick your first credit card. First, you have to see what you actually qualify for. Since you're probably getting this at 18, right? Going into college, you won't qualify for much.
A lot of cards have a minimum credit score that you might not have in the beginning of your life.
You also might have to have an income or some type of
Job.
job.
If you don't, you might need a cosigner, a parent, typically, to sign this credit card so you can get it.
So now that you know what you qualify for, these are the main things you should look for when you're trying to pick a credit card.
First, you should look for a card that has no annual fee.
You want to keep this credit card as long as possible.
The first one. Just interjecting.
You want to keep your first credit card as long as possible because keeping a credit card for a long time will make your score go up, and also canceling a credit card makes your score go down.
Another helpful tip is you want to make sure the company will give you a free credit score every month.
That way, when you get your monthly billing cycle, you will be able to see your credit score and see how you're doing and see if you can do anything to raise it. Next, you definitely want to see if there are any benefits. For your first credit card, there probably won't be many, but some benefits that might be nice would be cashback, gas, groceries. Also, some credit cards allow you to get frequent flyer miles. For every dollar you spend, you get like a mile, and then you can take free trips. Next, you want to know the credit card limit.
Very important.
See how much money you can actually spend. You only want to spend about 30% of your actual limit, and that will really help your credit score. You don't want to get close to your limit. You don't want to go over it. So it's really important to know your limit and try to get a high limit, but since it will be your first card, it probably won't be high. Okay.
Next is the APR, also known as the interest rate. You want to try to find a credit card with the lowest APR, but since it's your first card, it's probably unlikely, and there'll be a high APR between 20 and 25%. But don't worry, as you
it gets better.
Yes.
The more you build up a credit history, the better your credit score will get and the lower your APR will go. You also want to know what the penalty fees are or the late fees. If you pay late, which you never should.
Never
Never pay late.
Also, never pay the minimum. You always want to pay a little bit above the minimum, or else you're never going to pay that credit card off, and you'll be sad and broke for the rest of your life.
Anyway, you want to know what the penalty fees are to know how much you'll be penalized if you miss a payment or if you're late. So that's really important.
And our last tip, you should know the grace period.
If there is one.
Most credit cards have between a 20 and 25 day grace period. And the grace period is basically the time you can pay your bill after it's due when you won't be penalized. And having a long grace period is very helpful.
For your first credit card, you might have no grace period or a very short grace period. You want to try to find the longest one as possible if you feel like you might be a person who would really need that. But you shouldn't, because all of your bills should be paid on time.
When getting your first credit card, remember these tips we told you today.
Credit cards! Bye!
Ciao. Go Birds!